Let me give you an example of something which the difference between happiness and sort of satisfaction. And I say it so. At my company, we have this thing where we're going to give people £1,000 if we hit a certain internal number. We're going to make a certain amount of money. So January came. We've been waiting a while, a year or something. We hit this target, and I wrote a cheque for everybody for £1,000, which for some people wasn't such a big deal, but there's plenty of people in the company who aren't particularly well paid, and that's chunk, 5% of your salary or something like that. And just so happened, the company was on a growth spurt at the time. So before we had time to put the next thing in place, we sort of hit the next number. It was making even more money, and it felt like that's a sort of number where we should be celebrating it again. But we hadn't got the target officially set up yet. We just passed it too quickly. So what we did was we took everyone to the centre of Cambridge and made them sit through this really boring sort of presentation about company strategy and values and all that sort of thing. Everyone sort of yawning as they had to sit through this thing. And then after about an hour of this, I sort of said, does anyone know why we're actually here? Oh, we're here to listen to the strategy. Oh, actually, we've got another plan. We gave everyone an envelope, and in that envelope was £500. And then we took everyone just around the corner. There was a big department store, John Lewis, very nice department store in the centre of Cambridge. They'd opened late for us. We went in there, champagne, £500 worth of vouchers to go and spend in John Lewis, and everyone ran around it. So when I gave everyone the £1,000, now it actually cost me to give everyone that £500 by the time I paid the tax and all that sort of stuff. It actually cost me the best part of £1,000 to give everyone the £500 worth of vouchers. Now at the end of all that, when I gave everyone £1,000, one person wrote me a note. And that was my PA, who's like very, very organised and probably could see that, hey, he's actually given everyone all his money. I'll write a thank you note. When I gave everyone the vouchers as a surprise and as a memory, most people wrote me a note. I got hundreds and hundreds of notes saying, oh, thanks very much, really appreciate it. One person wrote, it's the best evening of my life. So for me, money is sort of happiness, right? It's like, it's a transitory thing, you need it, it's put there, it's great, lovely, but it's gone. Whereas the memory is, so when I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I'm trying to create memories. I'm trying to make it meaningful and impactful.
Businesses that come out with the award for being corporately socially responsible and for doing good things and being generous, it is also the way that they can mobilise all their staff to want to do things for society. I've been on the National Business Awards board for the last couple of years, and there's a category around this, and we seek out companies that have this quality, that have this spark. It's really good to see. And what that does is, the healthy kick in this is that if you encourage, say, your small business to do great work and to help a local hospice or to help raise money for a children's charity or whatever, the feel-good factor that creates within the business is quite amazing. We did a lot of this charity and fundraising at Dyson, and it was a great way of pulling together that team of people. Very powerful.
Is there any qualitative or quantitative research to prove that feel-good factor actually also enhances profitability?
There probably is. I don't know if there is, but there probably is. But I witnessed it with my own eyes. A couple of the campaigns I got involved with, we supported CLIC, which is now CLIC Sargent, the Cancer, Leukemia in Children, MRF, Meningitis Research Foundation. And Dyson staff all around the world were just unbelievable. They were so active in doing everything they could, fundraising activities, you name it, right through to the top level stuff, cause-related marketing, having a product specially designed to support that fundraising every time one was bought, giving so much to charity. It activates everybody. It becomes a subset of what you're doing as a business. It's something you feel proud about. It's something you want to go back and tell your family and friends that you're doing, because it is good that you're doing it, and everybody feels very united about it. So it must help. I found it enormously helpful, and
do you think businesses that have that mindset are going to do better in the future than those that don't?
Yes, I do.
Do you think it's a competitive advantage in some way?
Yes, I'd agree with that too. Don't expect to make much money out of it though, unless I was going about it in the wrong way. But if you really are throwing your heart and soul into supporting charities or good causes, then making money shouldn't be top of the list. Perhaps not losing too much money might be a useful parameter, but not to make money. You do it to support that cause and to also activate your community, your business, because it's very difficult to make money doing it. And that shouldn't be the aim.
My impression in reading about your career is, in terms of attitude determines altitude, is actually one of the real gifts of your leadership of any organisation you've been involved with. You tried to change the attitude and therefore the altitude of the whole organisation. Certainly when you went into BBC, you were saying earlier, it's like, okay, you're good, but is good enough? We could be an awful lot better. There seems to be a theme from the leadership campaigns you've had.
Yeah, what you're trying to do is give people confidence. One of the things, we introduced the biggest leadership training program in this country when I was at the BBC. And I always remember I used to turn up and lecture at them. And I always used to say, be you. Don't be anything else. Be you. And the number of people who came up to me afterwards and said, nobody's ever given me permission to be me. How often do you see people go into leadership jobs and the moment they get the job, they change. They start abandoning what they were because they start aping the behaviour of what they think is a leader. Mm-hmm. Just be them. Just be them.
Business is about making money out of satisfying customers. So once you've got them satisfied, you then have to get continuous improvement. That's where the process management comes in. But the people who have to improve the process have to want to do it. So they have to bring their enthusiasm to work as well as their hands and feet. And you soon realize these people want their company to do good. And they want it to be important. They come to work for just more than the money. It's because it's part of their personality and part of themselves. And the joy to work for somebody they're proud of just is fantastic. So once you get the whole lot together, you can move things enormously. You can make huge improvement. We'd see what the employees could do themselves. Often you have to help them. Often you have to give a lot of assistance. Often you have to invest a lot of money. But basically, you've got to give the employees themselves a great deal of room to start suggesting. One of my approaches is always to say, if you had a magic wand, what would you do to fix this? And you see some wonderful things coming up from your employees when they can see that you're there, you're serious, and you want to improve things for them.